Hello everyone, I'm David. In this episode, we're introducing the highly rated, mind-bending sci-fi film Mr. Nobody. The story begins in the year 2092. By then, humanity has achieved immortality through cellular electromagnetization technology. However, one man remains destined to die a natural death. That man is the film's protagonist Nemo, now 118 years old. His face is deeply wrinkled, and he has lost almost all of his hair. Due to his fragmented memories, it is only through a doctor's hypnosis and a journalist's impatient questioning that he begins to recount his life. The story rewinds far into the past, to a time before Nemo was even born. He, along with other children, lived in a place known as Paradise. There, they knew everything, including the future. Each time a child was about to be born, the Angel of Oblivion would place a finger on their lips, leaving a mark on the upper lip and making them forget everything. However, this time, the Angel of Oblivion missed Nemo. As a result, he was born with the ability to foresee the future. As per tradition, Nemo must first choose a pair of parents. He finds the scent of a blonde woman particularly pleasant, so he selects them. When he is still very young, Nemo meets three neighborhood girls, one of whom is Anna, along with a blonde girl and a black-haired girl. These three will completely change his life. In truth, Nemo is most fond of Anna, who falls in love with him at first sight. She even nearly drowns in the school pool while trying to imitate his swimming, but luckily, a teacher pulls her out in time. However, soon after, something bizarre happens. One day, while walking home from school, Nemo witnesses his mother having an affair with none other than Anna's father. After this, his parents fall into endless arguments and eventually decide to divorce. At the train station, they make him choose whom he wants to live with. As Nemo hesitates, the train arrives, and without a second thought, his mother steps onto it. Wanting to live the most perfect life possible, Nemo uses his ability to predict the future. First, he envisions a scenario where he jumps onto the train and lives with his mother. In this version of the future, growing up in a single-parent household makes him withdrawn and mischievous, causing his mother a great deal of frustration. One day, during a school beach trip, Anna approaches him and invites him to go swimming with her. However, afraid of being mocked for not knowing how to swim, Nemo responds coldly, saying he doesn't want to swim with an idiot. Hurt and furious, Anna immediately walks away. The next time they meet, many years have passed. She is now a mother of two. Nemo is filled with regret. Fortunately, this is just a hypothetical future. Determined to be with Anna, he rewinds time to the beach trip and honestly admits that he can't swim, asking her not to make fun of him. Moved by his sincerity, Anna quickly falls in love with him, and the two eventually get married. However, the happiness doesn't last long. One day, while driving home, Nemo swerves to avoid two small birds and accidentally crashes his car into a river beside the highway. Since he can't swim and there's no one around to help, he drowns on the spot. Realizing this path leads to a dead end, he rewinds time back to his teenage years. This time, his mother gets her wish. She happily settles down with her lover, who is also Anna's father. Nemo doesn't object, as this gives him the perfect chance to get closer to Anna. Once again, they fall deeply in love and secretly start dating. But once again, their happiness is short-lived. Before long, his mother and stepfather begin arguing, and unsurprisingly, they end up divorcing. Anna, though reluctant to leave, has no choice but to move to New York with her father. After their separation, she writes letters to Nemo, but his cold-hearted mother tears them up before he can read them. Fortunately, neither of them forgets each other, and they finally reunite as adults. After spending a night together, Anna leaves him her phone number. Unfortunately, at that very moment, a heavy downpour begins, washing away Anna's phone number in an instant. Just like that, Nemo loses his best chance to be with her and ends up living the rest of his life alone. It seems this path doesn't lead to happiness either. Time to try another one. This time, he rewinds back to the train station where his parents are separating. To change his fate, he deliberately arranges for his shoe to slip off, preventing himself from jumping onto the train. This way, he chooses to stay with his father instead. However, this choice leads to tragedy from the start. His father soon falls ill and becomes paralyzed, forcing Nemo to juggle school, part-time jobs, and caregiving responsibilities. His life becomes extremely difficult. As a result of his hardships, he develops a quiet and withdrawn personality. One night, during a dance party, he unexpectedly runs into his childhood neighbor, the blonde girl. He falls for her at first sight. Although he still likes Anna more, the blonde girl is undeniably beautiful as well. Since he isn't good with words, Nemo awkwardly starts talking about signs from Mars. Surprisingly, this makes the blonde girl laugh. Amused, she makes him promise that after he dies, he must have his ashes scattered on Mars. One day, Nemo finally gathers the courage to confess his feelings. He stands in front of the blonde girl's house, ready to knock, only to witness her stepping out with another man. Heartbroken, he speeds away on his bike. However, due to his reckless speed, he gets into a severe accident. By the time he is rushed to the hospital, he has already fallen into a coma, one from which he never wakes up. Clearly, this path leads to a dead end as well. Determined to change his fate, he rewinds time again to the moment in front of the blonde girl's house. This time, he doesn't hesitate, he confesses his feelings immediately. But she rejects him on the spot, as she is hopelessly in love with someone else. Furious and heartbroken, Nemo goes to the dance party that same night and impulsively kisses the black-haired girl. Not long after, the two get married. Nemo buys a grand mansion, drives a luxurious convertible, and seems to have finally found success. At the peak of his life, Nemo should be happy, but since he doesn't love the black-haired girl, his life feels empty and joyless. Gradually, he loses the will to live and decides to leave his fate to a coin flip. Though he narrowly avoids being hit by a train, he ends up being killed by an assassin instead. Another failed life path. Unwilling to give up, he rewinds time once again to the moment in front of the blonde girl's house. This time, he is determined to win her heart, no matter how many attempts it takes. After relentless effort, he finally succeeds in winning her love. However, on their wedding day, disaster strikes. A car explosion kills the blonde girl on the spot. Devastated, Nemo keeps his promise and scatters her ashes on Mars. Still, this life path ends in tragedy. Unwilling to accept defeat, he rewinds time yet again, making adjustments. This time, he successfully avoids the car accident and finally gets to live a happy life with the blonde girl, marrying her and having children. However, married life isn't as blissful as Nemo imagined. He is completely devoted to the blonde girl, doing everything to pamper her. If she says she doesn't like the car, he immediately burns it. But there are some things he can't change, he can't make her love him. As the saying goes, a forced fruit is not sweet. Eventually, the blonde girl leaves him, and this life path comes to a complete failure. In frustration, Nemo rewinds time once more, returning to the moment when his parents separated. This time, he chooses neither to live with his mother nor his father. Instead, he runs off down a small path on his own. However, on this new path, he unexpectedly encounters Anna, the one he truly loves. Meanwhile, in the year 2092, the world begins to slowly fade away. It turns out this is yet another life path Nemo had predicted back at the train station. Though the journey was filled with twists and turns, Nemo finally finds his way. He ultimately finds the life path he loves most and lives a happy life with Anna. The film concludes. Released in 2009, as we mentioned at the beginning, this is a mind-bending sci-fi movie, especially in terms of its narrative structure, which can leave viewers confused. However, I believe most viewers, like myself, will still rate it highly, even if they don't fully understand it on the first watch. In the movie, Nemo uses his ability to predict the future to switch to a different life whenever he's dissatisfied with his current one. But once he enters a new life, he faces new disappointments. This might be telling us that, in the end, cherishing the present moment is the best choice. After all, we ordinary people don't have the power to predict the future. For those who enjoy listening to stories from quick movie recaps, don't forget to subscribe.